Hello everyone, I'm Vi. I'm e-commerce marketing expert at Omnisend, and today we're covering a very important topic. It's how to retain those Black Friday, Cyber Monday customers you're definitely gonna get next week. And to help us with that, today we have Jen, who is our customer success team manager at Omnisend. She's the best of the best, so take this opportunity to ask her all the questions to make sure your post-Black Friday campaigns are successful. Jen, would you like to say hello?
Hi, thanks so much for joining today. I'm excited to talk about Black Friday re-engagement and
Amazing. And before we begin, there's a couple of things to note. This session is being recorded. You will receive the recording in a couple of days. We will also include the slides and any of the resources we're going to share. And then if at any point you have any questions for Jen, there's a Q&A tab at the bottom of your screen. So drop your questions in there, and then we will either pause to answer those then, or we will wait till the end when we're going to have a Q&A session. We also have customer support in the chat. They're real people, not AI. So be kind and patient. And also, today we're going to have a giveaway. So about halfway through, we're going to pause, see how well you've been listening to Jen, and someone's going to walk away with our swag kit that is exclusive. So make sure you pay attention. If not for your Black Friday sake, maybe for your swag kit. And Jen, the stage is yours.
So we'll start with our agenda. First on the agenda, we'll touch on why Black Friday shoppers matter for your business. Next, we'll go into a couple of segments that will help you reach the right audience post Black Friday. We'll also cover a few of the post-purchase automations that can help keep your shoppers engaged, and cover also what's coming next after Black Friday and what you should prioritize. We'll end today with 3 quick and easy action items that you can complete this week. So first up is why Black Friday and Cyber Monday shoppers matter to your business. And really, to maximize your sales, it's important to turn those one-time shoppers into long-term customers that have a relationship with your brand. So Black Friday and Cyber Monday are going to bring a wave of new first-time buyers who are new to your brand, and they might only shop once unless you're actively reaching out and re-engaging them. To re-engage these customers, you can send them tailored follow-ups, product recommendations, and really focus on value-driven content that's going to build brand recognition, trust, and encourage them to continue shopping your brand. You'll also want to send consistent year-round engagement to boost those repeat purchase rates and turn those seasonal shoppers into long-term fans of your brand who will eventually have a higher lifetime value. So first up, we'll start with some segments here. These segments are going to help you look at your Black Friday, Cyber Monday shoppers and be able to send smarter, higher converting emails to them. So the first one that we'll cover today is going to be new Black Friday customers. These will be shoppers who are placing their first order during the Black Friday promotions. Next up, we'll have repeat buyers that also shopped Black Friday. These are going to be customers that are not new to your brand, but are still shopping your Black Friday or Cyber Monday promotions. After that, we'll cover seasonal shoppers. These are going to be people who are shopping your Black Friday or Cyber Monday sales year after year. After that, we'll get into your high value customers. These are going to be your top VIPs. And after that, we'll end with some non-buyers that are engaged. So they haven't purchased yet, but they have shown some level of activity. Getting into these a bit more in depth, the first one here is your first-time buyers. So I wanted to show a couple of different options for this segment. The first option on the right is going to be a standard segment of first-time buyers. You can see in the example here, they've placed exactly 1 order in total. So this is going to be kind of a basic version without any extra date parameters. The second version on the left here is going to be one-time buyers who placed that one order during a date range, which could be your Black Friday promotion period. It could be Black Friday or Cyber Monday exactly. I did November, the month of November as an example, but those date ranges can be customized. And to give a couple of examples of how you can use this segment, first, these segments can be used to trigger automations. So one way, these are going to be new buyers. You can send them a welcome or a thank you message for placing that order. These are also good segments to include in your campaign sending so that you're keeping your products top of mind even after they've shopped your sale. And then one other tip for recent buyers, you can create a similar segment here of buyers who have placed an order in the last few days, maybe the last 7 days. And then that is a good segment that you can exclude from your upcoming promotional campaigns, just to prevent people from receiving those promotions if they have just placed an order. Moving on to the second segment here, this is going to be your repeat customers that have shopped Black Friday or Cyber Monday. So similar format to the one-time buyer segment, but here you'll have at least 2 orders in total, and at least one of those orders is during your Black Friday promotion period. So ways to use this segment, you can follow up after they've placed the order and include other relevant product recommendations. It's also important to include non-promotional content like care tips or guides so that you're really building that relationship with the customer. These are also good customers to promote your loyalty program or referral programs to because they have placed more than one order. You can also ask them for reviews, things like that, to keep them engaged with your brand. And then last tip here, again, just keep them engaged with the value content, not just giving them deals or promotions, but making sure that you're including things like guides, tips, how to use the product or how to care for it that can really help them build a relationship with your brand long-term. The third segment example here is going to be your engaged non-buyers. This is a really important segment because these customers are showing activity, engagement with your emails, but they haven't actually completed the purchase yet. So it's important not to forget about these customers. Here, the segment example shows they have not placed at least one order in total, but they have opened at least 3 times in the last 60 days or clicked on a message at least 3 times in the last 60 days. So showing a lot of engagement with the messages, but they just haven't completed that order yet. A few ways to use this segment. These are also good segments to include in your campaign sending because they are showing that engagement. They just haven't completed the purchase yet. So it's good to continue sending your emails to them to keep those products top of mind. This is also a good group to show any social proof like other customer reviews. It can help them build trust while they're thinking about if they want to make the purchase or not. Using urgency in the messaging also helps push the conversion here. So if you have items that are selling fast, or if there's a promotion that might be a limited time offer, those things can help boost your sales rate also. And there are a few different ways you could segment as well. In the example, we have a customer cycle stage at the top. So this is looking at loyalists and your champions groups. And then also you have a number of orders that you can look at here. So for example, this is looking at customers who have placed at least 5 orders in total. You also have the date range here for your promotional period, but that isn't something that you have to include. And a couple of ways to use this segment. These are going to be your top customers, so you can really reward them with exclusive content, maybe early access to future promotions or new product releases. And this is also a group that you can really celebrate milestones for, like their birthday or maybe the anniversary of when they subscribed or when they placed the first order. Those nice touch points really help to build a strong relationship with the customer. And then lastly, a quick reminder here that those customer lifecycle stages are available in your segmentation. Those are a really easy way if you're not sure where to start in targeting those VIP customers. These are groups that are going to already be built for you in Omnisend based on how many orders your customer has placed and the recency of those orders. So those are a great starting point. You can always add more filters in addition to those, but that's a really quick and easy way to get your VIP customer segment created. And then last segment example here is going to be the seasonal shoppers. These are the people who have placed at least 2 orders in total, and at least one of those orders is during your promotional period for Black Friday last year, and then also including a filter if they've placed an order during that promotional period this year as well. One thing to note is if you've been sending Black Friday emails for 5 years, you can, of course, add extra filters here for other previous years that you'd like to include. And a couple of tips for using this segment. Seasonal shoppers are most likely going to be looking for deals or maybe even gifts. So this can be helpful when you're thinking about what content to give them in their email campaigns. This group could also be a great option to give them early access to Black Friday promotions or even other promotions in the future, since you know that they might be looking for a deal. And this is also a group that you can create reactivation automations with and follow up a few months after their purchase to see if you can recommend other items or keep them engaged with your brand that way. Next up, we're going to cover a few post-purchase automations. Getting into these a little bit more, these post-purchase automations are really a great way to build loyalty with your customers, and you can really follow up after every order to provide those personalized, timely messages. The first step of pretty much any post-purchase journey is going to be your order and shipping updates. So these might be already messages that you have created that are sending to your customers, and just important to keep in mind that that is also part of their post-purchase journey. The second message here is going to be an order follow-up or thank you message. This can be automated using your segments, and it's a great way to thank your customers for placing their order. Could be new or returning customers. The next automation here is the cross-sell and upsell emails. So these are a great way to recommend other complementary items to those buyers. And the last one that we'll cover today is going to be the customer reactivation or replenishment workflows. So these are going to be the workflows that are really encouraging your customers to place another order and continue to keep buying from your brand. So first up is going to be the order follow-up or thank you workflow. You can see here that these are triggered by segments. So going back to those segments that we reviewed earlier, your one-time buyers or first-time buyers can be used to trigger these workflows. So the trigger here is the contact entering the segment, have a delay period, and then you will send the message thanking them for their order. And also these first-time buyers are going to be new to your brand. So I think it's a great idea to treat this almost as a welcome message. And in addition to thanking them, provide any information that might be helpful for them to know about your brand or the products. The second example here on the right is going to be a repeat buyer workflow. It really has the same setup and idea. It's just targeted to people who are repeat buyers. And you can see the message is a bit different. The subject line says, thank you again. So just referring back to that, they are a repeat customer. One other thing to note here, if you'd like to keep both options within one workflow, you can also use the splits in the automations to split the workflow based on a segment and have one path for your first-time buyers and one path for repeat buyers. And lastly, just a quick reminder again to include that educational or value-driven content so that you're including value for your customers, how they can use the product that they just purchased or care for it. The second workflow that we're going to cover today is the cross-sell automation. This is another great post-purchase option to include other relevant product recommendations that might be relevant for those customers. So in this workflow example here, the trigger is the customer placing an order. There's also a filter for the product that will be targeted here. And then the email sends after 2 weeks recommending some complementary items. Things, like the product that you're targeting or the delay period can be customized based on those products that you're looking at. And a couple of quick tips for the cross-sell automation. If you're not sure which products to recommend, a great option is to use our product recommender block. This will allow you to easily populate bestsellers or new arrivals in those cross-seller emails. You can also filter those product recommendations down to specific categories. You can exclude specific items and make them pretty granular if there are certain categories that you want to include or exclude from those recommendations. And then last tip here is to use a mix of cross-sell and also value-adding content like tips or inspiration so that the email doesn't feel too promotional and it really is still adding value to your customer. And then last automation post-purchase that we're going to walk through is the customer reactivation or replenishment. Two different examples here. But the customer reactivation is one that I think really all brands should be using. This example is a little bit small here, but they will enter the workflow when they place an order. This split is actually based on a segment if the customer is a new or returning customer. And then they have different delay periods in this example, a shorter delay for first-time customers and then a longer delay for the returning customers. But there are also a lot of pre-built options for the workflows that make it really quick and easy to set these up. So first tip here is to utilize those pre-built workflows. If you're not sure where to start, those pre-built workflows make this setup very quick and easy so that you can start reaching your customers right away. I would also recommend creating a series for this workflow. You can include multiple messages so that you're staying in touch with the customer over several months. And the exit condition, if you have an exit condition for placing an order, the customer will exit once they do repurchase. And then going back to the replenishment reminder, this is a great option if your brand is selling products that are being repurchased frequently. So if you, for example, are selling things like skincare or vitamins where the item is intended to be repurchased, this is a great example and also one that has a pre-built workflow option in Omnisend, but it really allows you to include those products that the customer had purchased in the past so that they can easily click through on those items and go back and purchase again. You can even see in the subject line here for the pre-built workflow, it includes the product name in the subject line as well. So it asks, are you running low on this product? And then the customer can easily go back and repurchase. So I think now we'll take a quick break for Vi to introduce the question here.
Yes, my favorite part. We're gonna have a giveaway and see how well you've been listening to Jen. Also, Jen, there are lovely comments in the chat. People loving your recommendations here.
Awesome.
Alrighty, so the rules are simple. I will read out the question a couple of times, and then we will show you the answer options. And whoever gets the correct letter of the answer in a chat first will win our swag. Okay, simple as that. Jen, reveal the question.
All right, here's the question.
What's one key way to turn Black Friday, Cyber Monday shoppers into repeat customers? What's one key way to turn Black Friday, Cyber Monday shoppers into repeat customers? Okay, get ready, everyone. Jen, reveal the answers. Is it A, ignore them until Black Friday? Is it B? Is it C? Is it D? We definitely got the correct answer in the chat. Well done. Alrighty, so we will contact the person who got the correct answer first, and then we'll send you the instructions on how to share your information with us. And your swag kit's gonna be on the way very soon. Alrighty, Jen, let's continue.
One other quick tip, I want to go back to the customer reactivation automation for a quick minute to give you all one other quick tip to make it work a little bit better. So one thing I wanted to point out here was the customer breakdown page in Omnisend. This will be under your audience tab. So if you click on audience, you'll be able to click over to your customer breakdown page also. And there are some helpful numbers to look at when you're over on this page. This will show you how many returning customers you have, and then on average, how many days are in between their first purchase and second purchase. So this can be really helpful when you're deciding when to send that reactivation message. So as a first step, when you're creating your reactivation automation, make sure to come over to the customer breakdown page and check how many days are in between those purchases on average. This is going to be important when you're setting that delay between the purchase and when to send the reactivation message. And I think it's always important to avoid sending the reactivation message before that amount of days has passed. So, for example, if your customers purchase about every 76 days, you'll want to wait at least that long before sending the message. And I would really recommend sending it about 90 days in that case after. And then a couple of quick tips. What's next after Black Friday and Cyber Monday are done? This is a great checklist to run through. The first thing here is segmenting smartly. So including your engaged non-buyers and your recent customers in December campaigns when people are still shopping for deals. Again, reminder to use your segments to trigger those automations for messages that feel more personal. Those segments really allow you to target the exact customers that you want to reach with your automations. And then again, a quick reminder to exclude any recent buyers who might have placed an order in the last 7 days from your promotional reminders. In that case, the customer has already placed an order, so there's no need to remind them to place another order. Second point here is to automate your post-purchase messages to drive those repeat buyers. So the first one would be your order follow-up that will thank your new and repeat customers. You'll also want to set up a cross-sell automation that will recommend other relevant products to those buyers. And then finishing out that customer reactivation journey with the reactivation message. And that would be targeted to those customers who have not repurchased. Last quick thing here is to deliver the right message to the customer at the right time. So tailoring the content for each customer's needs. Maybe if they've just placed an order recently, they might want to see usage tips or the next step inspiration. Or if it's been a while since their last order, they might need a replenishment reminder. Also, you'll want to reward your VIPs or top customers with exclusive content, early access, or special promotions. And then the last point here is just a quick reminder to A/B test anything that you're curious about, new content or promotions, or even different channels that you'd like to try. The best way to learn what re-engages your holiday shoppers best is to do some A/B testing. And then 3 quick wins, a few simple actions that you can take this week to get started on some of these. The first thing I would recommend is creating that order follow-up workflow. So you can either create 1 or 2 different workflows for your new or repeat customers. You will want to use those segments to trigger the automation and include a thank you message and also some educational content for those new subscribers. Second point here is to plan a re-engagement campaign for your holiday shoppers. This is one where you can use your new customer segment to send a campaign out maybe in Q1 and include a mix of content that inspires, delights the customer, and includes other relevant product recommendations to keep them engaged with your brand. And then the last point here is to set up the customer reactivation automation. This can be set up very quickly using the pre-built workflows. And again, it's important to refer back to your customer breakdown when thinking of when that customer reactivation message should be sent. This is also one that you can include for first-time and repeat buyers, and also include those dynamic product recommendations. And then 3 quick takeaways to end on. Just a few quick reminders here that will help you turn your one-time buyers into long-term fans. You'll want to make sure you're reaching the right audience at the right time with the right content. Automating your post-purchase messages to keep them sending at the right time, and also nurturing those new customers to build lasting customer relationships. That's all I have for today. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen. That was so good. And I love how methodically you explain things to us, and people in the chat as well really appreciate it. And for those who were asking as well, you will receive the recording of this and you will get the slides so you can go through this at your own pace whenever you can. Jen, I have a question for you. Just thinking, there's a week left until we have actual Black Friday. And maybe I'm a business that maybe I'm a little bit behind, or maybe I'm just stressing over everything. And now you're telling me I have to add all those segments, add all those workflows. It seems like a lot to do. Would you recommend, or more would you say it's okay for me to set up things after Black Friday has passed?
Definitely. That's a great question. And I think Black Friday promotions definitely take priority leading up into the actual day of Black Friday. So that makes sense. And these are definitely all things that can be done when things quiet down a bit after Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I think a lot of brands have a few quiet weeks, sometimes in December when we're a little bit closer to the holidays. So that's a great time to go back and look at who shopped during Black Friday or Cyber Monday and come up with a plan to re-engage them in the future.
Absolutely. But also, I would recommend scheduling an hour one day, an hour the next day, and have those segments set up and those automations also set up. And as Jen said, we do have templates ready for you, so you will not have to do it from scratch. So I'm thinking, let's work a little bit extra time and then make sure we are ready for all other things, because I know that after Black Friday there's going to be holiday campaigns coming out as well, and I'm guilty of that. I would start prioritizing those, and then I know that mid-December I would probably be freaking out because I haven't even touched what you just spoke about today.
Yeah, and the important thing to keep in mind is that all of these things are going to be really quick and easy to set up. So don't overestimate how much time it will take you to create a segment or a workflow, because there are a lot of pre-built options that you can use, or even kind of go off of the screenshots in the slideshow today.
Amazing. We do have a question, and that is, what type of email content can you recommend for reactivation flows for Black Friday, Cyber Monday shoppers?
That's a good question. I think in general, if these are customers who haven't shopped too recently, it would be a time to consider maybe giving some sort of promotion or discount on their next order. But I know all brands aren't always able to give too many discounts either. So if those customers haven't been to your site recently, I think that's also a great time to include new arrivals, or maybe focus on what's new to your site. So that's probably how I would approach customer reactivation messages. And then I think adding products to the message always makes it a bit more shoppable too. So I think that could help.
Yes, I would absolutely recommend adding, especially in January, thinking that, holidays will pass, January will come. I want to reactivate those shoppers. So thinking about what's new. Because, people probably already browsed your shop. And if they're, again, I'm basing this on my experience that people are shopping for their Christmas gifting, and they're just shopping looking for good deals. So they do a lot of browsing in your store. And unless you have like hundreds or thousands of SKUs, people probably seen everything you already have. So it's a good opportunity to be like, hey, new year, here's our new stuff. Maybe even show what's coming up, because also giving that a little teaser.
I love that.
All righty. We still have some time. So if you have questions, drop those in the chat. I do have a question from my side as well. So what is the most common mistake you would say brands do when it comes to post Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the re-engagement strategies? What would be that like the most common thing?
I think one of the most common mistakes might even just be not doing anything really to reactivate your customers. I think sometimes brands get in the habit of sending their campaign messages and sometimes forget about those more personal touch points. So I think focusing on just creating those automations so that they're there for your new customers. And once you set it up, it's continually running in the background. That would probably be the most important thing, I would say. Yeah.
Amazing. Alrighty. Someone in the chat is saying guilty of that as well.
Hard to get everything set up, but those automations will really pay off in the long run.
Absolutely. And if anyone's thinking, oh gosh, I don't know how to do it, if, for some people it might be a little bit too techy, or you might not trust yourself with certain steps, we have customer support available 24/7. They'll be happy to help you out. You can even reference this webinar and they'll make sure that you set up exactly what you want to set up. Alrighty, so no more questions. We have a happy giveaway winner. All questions been answered. Jen, thank you so much. That was again so methodical, so clear, and I'm sure that anyone's rewatching this will get so much out of it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining everyone, listening to all my tips for reactivating your customers.
Fantastic. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. I wish you a very prosperous Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And again, if anything, contact our customer support. We are here to literally support you in your success. Alrighty. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Thank you.